There's a brand new terminid mission that involves vehicles. There's also a new missile stratagem apparently, and a new enemy that we'll be covering also in this video. This is all inbound, so it's time to get excited, Helldivers. There's a lot to cover, especially what the community manager has said about the upcoming update, and much more, guys, so stick around to the end to stay up to date. First off, let's take a look at what the community manager said in response to someone who asked, please just revert the changes and worry about tweaking later. As a low level solo player, the game is beyond unfun. It's infuriating. I've uninstalled the game, and the longer this takes to fix, the more likely I will never reinstall. Now, I know not everyone will like the high spawn rates, especially for lower levels, so I kind of understand. However, as a higher level, I quite like them. I like the challenge, and I think this could stick with the higher difficulties, but I do agree for lower levels, especially lower difficulties, it should be a lot less than it is now. Because I mean, if I was a lower level and had to deal with the amount of enemies there are at the moment, also not with the best stratagems, I think I'd be quite frustrated too as well. Anyway, Twinbeard replies to him basically saying, hi, just to clarify, the possible minor tweaks to patrols and spawn rates will not affect when we revert, implement the changes. So you don't have to worry about that. Then a little smiley face at the end, you know, typical Twinbeard. Now, I know people are frustrated with the spawn rates, and I'm not going to lie, I like it when it's mental, but yeah, as of now, it's almost impossible to really get anything done. I legit had about 15 or 20 bots spawn out of nowhere. I mean, it was fun when they're obviously easy to kill and take out, but bloody hell, they just kept spawning, and yeah, it was just an endless mess, basically. It literally was hell, so I do feel for lower levels, I do, so, you know, they should really implement these changes and revert back. That's just my opinion. There is also an ex-user who basically thanked Twinbeard and the team for reverting back to the changes, and the community manager replied saying this: thanks, it hasn't been implemented yet, but since the change we did turned out to be broken, reverting is the best choice right now regardless. Now, if you're curious about the update, there won't be a patch coming this week from what I know, but I do know there are some various updates dropping, like the new galactic orders. However, we may expect something as of next week, hopefully. Or maybe even sooner, maybe sooner than we think. At least they are working on this, you know, and they aren't just shifting it to one side, so that's good to know. The next member actually asked about the communication, and this is what Twinbeard had to say to him. Hi, we very much want to have in-game comms with all the possibilities it would bring in terms of both informing and polling a substantially larger portion of the player base. I hope we will be able to make a system like that in the future, but I can't make any promises. Have a nice evening, or day, or night, depending on where you're at. Smiley face. Again, a smiley face. I mean, I think that would be a cool little idea to add into the game, you know, comms. But I don't think it would be needed to be added in, like, right now, you know, straight away. Now, this is an interesting one. This user asked about bows, arrows, melee weapons, and all of that stuff. Mystic Wolf DJ says, sorry for the ping again, but I really want to know your thoughts at Twinbeard. This is far-fetched question, but if there are possible melee weapons coming into the game, will there be a possibility for bows and arrows to also be a thing? I know we have the explosive crossbow, but I'm just wondering about a regular bow with different arrow types. And then Twinbeard replies with, I have no idea. Overall, I'd say most weapons are at least plausible. And no, that doesn't mean we'll have lightsabers or trebuchets. Now, I think that would be funny. I mean, we do have Star Wars mods, so melee weapons ever came into the game, I think modders will sort that one out for us, if you get what I'm saying. I just love Twinbeard's sense of humour. I do find it sometimes hard to understand what he says. I guess that's just because obviously the language barrier maybe. We are now going to take a look at a newly leaked terminid mission that involves driving a vehicle and taking it to a drop-off point. We have been waiting for this for kind of a while, guys. You know, vehicles, that'd be pretty sick. But unfortunately, I have to break it to you, it's not what you think, okay? It's not a stratagem. It is not a stratagem. I think it's just basically mission-based for the objective. So yeah, sorry to be the bearer of that news, but at least it's one step closer to having vehicle stratagems maybe. But as I say, at least it's something new, you know, some sort of new objective, something new to do in the game. So at least it's not going to be repetitive, and they're bringing new mission types into the game because that's what we want, new mission types, new variants. So obviously it's less repetitive. Setting that aside, we do have a leaked JSON file that tells us about a brand new terminid mission. The description can be found right here. Destroy mutated terminid eggs, deliver cargo to the pickup point, seize the civilian satellite towers, deactivate corrupted battery silos, joint operation, retrieve the chemicals, final assault available, drive vehicle to drop off location. Now, the vehicle mentioned in the description could very well be the Rover we looked at recently in our leak video, so that would be really cool to see. I mean, this is just speculation, but it could be that. It could be the Rover. There is also another file here that has a different description about another automaton. Sounds like juicy stuff to me, you know, juicy content. Destroy automaton warlords. Now, yeah, that sounds awesome. It sounds like some boss. It literally sounds like some bosses coming into the game. If you played Helldivers 1, right, which I haven't, but apparently there's warlords in Helldivers 1, so yeah, I guess that's quite exciting to see, you know, to see in Helldivers 2. Now, there's talks about some sort of new stratagem. For example, right here it says, ready to initiate reloading sequence for M723 orbital slag shell. Slag shell? What a name, slag shell. Slag. I'm sure that will be something new for us to get our hands on at some point. There is also one here which is, I think, supposed to be a nuclear one, really, or some sort of nuclear stratagem. A tactical nuclear missile is fired from a standalone delivery system inserted into a geostationary orbit over the combat area. Retrieval of the delivery system once inserted would be economically unviable, so missiles should be fired at first available opportunity. Any failure to do so will be logged and investigated. Helldivers should take caution when firing the weapon, as the blast radius is significant. So this is very different to the stratagem we saw obviously in a leak video, which is basically like a hell bomb that you can actually cool down yourself. Before we go any further, guys, if you like the video, bump the like button. It goes such a long way, you know, for democracy, you know, for democracy. Surprisingly, there's footage of this stratagem. If you want to check this out, then stay with me, but if you don't want any spoilers, now is your time to go. Okay, now is your time to go. But if not, stay, because this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see more stratagems, honestly. The more stratagems, the better. So when you call in this stratagem, it will come down like any other stratagem basically. There's only one missile you can use from what we see. There will be a way though to point this laser at a target, which I'm assuming then the missile will fire towards the enemy, like a guided missile basically, and it shoots off and boom, eliminates the target in the area. I mean, it's not too crazy, but I think it's a pretty cool idea. I think it does not look that nuclear though at the moment, or is it just me? I mean, to me, I'm only seeing obviously his footage and it doesn't really look very, very nuclear. Like, it doesn't look like a huge nuclear blast, but it may just be like almost like a mini nuke missile. Oh, and yeah, I forgot, if you're curious to what it's called, it is the M-220 missile silo. Now, there's no stats to this one, unfortunately, but at least we've got to take a look at the stratagem itself, so, you know, that's a bonus. Essentially, it's a guided missile system. It's in its beta phase, and it's not out yet. Maybe it will come out with a future event we have to complete, or like a major order. Anyway, what's your thoughts on this? What do you think of it? Me, personally, it looks alright, but I don't think it looks very nuclear as of now, in its current stage, I mean. So now we're going to talk about some new weapons. Are these illuminant weapons? Heavy fusion cannon, heavy fusion repeater, fusion assault gun, fusion carbine, SR-005 rocket. Now, if this is for the illuminant, that does kind of suck because they sound really sick, honestly. These weapons sound awesome. Next is tanks. At the top it says annihilator tanks, barrage tanks. These tanks are either what we can use as stratagems, or maybe they are just enemy tanks, like new enemy tanks. What do you think? Wouldn't it be awesome to have your own tank? That would literally change the game. It really would. There was a leak of a tank, which is Forerunner lore. The description though has two different ones, which is interesting. There is Borg tank turret cannon, and then the last one, K turret rocket launcher. I mean, as I said, it would change the game, especially on harder difficulties against the automatons. Now, do you remember the Hivebuster? We covered this in a previous leak video. If you don't know what it is, it's a mission stratagem which is used to drill into the hive core. Now, we do have a description of this right here. By the way, just to let you guys know, this is all by Iron Sights. If you're on the Reddit page for leaks, most of the leaks come from Iron Sights. So if you want first hand on all these leaks, go onto Reddit, join the page, and you'll be able to see all the latest leaks as soon as they come out. Basically, you'll have first eyes on the leaks before these videos drop. Iron Sights says the Hivebuster is a bug exclusive objective. Your team will be told to locate a nearby underground hive core. Upon finding the hive core, you will call down a Hivebuster. You must defend the Hivebuster while it drills into the hive core. Once drilled into the hive core, the Hivebuster will deliver a nuclear payload capable of blasting that hive core into oblivion. I suspect it will be a main mission objective that will be delivered by the Pelican. Credit to AJ for finding the animations. You can also see the combination for the stratagem to call in. This will call in the Hivebuster to summon it down to the objective. Now, I hope this all comes in time and we get some new content soon, because this gets me so excited, guys. Honestly, all this new content, it gets me so excited. I mean, this has been one of my new favourite games to play literally the past 3 months, and even though it can be quite repetitive sometimes, I have just been so hooked on this game, and I play a lot of PvP games. So for me playing a PvE game this long, I mean, it says a lot because, you know, I'm normally a PvP guy. Yes, the player numbers have dropped significantly, obviously for many reasons, but I guess that was bound to happen. I mean, every single game at some point goes through this. Now, I hope all this comes in time and we get some new content soon, because all of this looks absolutely amazing. I mean, we do have a lot of new enemies coming, a lot of new stratagems, and just loads of content in general. And for the past 3 months, the developers have literally just been pumping out content left, right, and centre, and they've kind of slowed down a bit recently. I mean, that could also be due to the drama that's been surrounding Helldivers 2 at the moment, because as much as we want new content, unfortunately, obviously sometimes there's other things that have got to take priority. Anyway, I'm sticking with them though, you know, for democracy. Yeah, for democracy. So guys, I will try to cover everything from leaks to updates, news and more. I'll get these out as fast as I can. If you like Helldivers 2 and, you know, liberty, because who doesn't like liberty, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will do more videos like this. Until next time guys, go and conquer the galaxy for democracy. Okay, not communism, okay? Not communism.